All right, so there's a bit of a delay because been having issues with getting my lawnmower ready for this season. Not that it snuck up on me. I just put it off, and then next thing you know, carburetor's gunked up from the season because someone's dumbass forgot to put stabilizer in the gas in the tank. Oops. So Sunday, hell of a way to celebrate Easter. If anything, the only thing more fitting would have been Behemoth, but that's coming up in about 2 weeks. So, Behemoth with Deicide and Rotting Christ. We'll get to that later. Sunday, I finally saw something which I didn't think I would. Um, so, I've been a fan of Emperor. I first heard them in '98. I became much more closely a fan around 2002. About when they broke up. Oops. Timing, the ability to find things and hear things at that point in time. If you didn't know people or know what to look for at Tower Records, you, or you didn't watch MTV or whatever, not that they would put Norwegian black metal on, but still, if you weren't paying attention or you weren't in the know, you're picking up magazines, you weren't on point with it at that point. So, Emperor is something that's been on my list for about 20 years to go see live. And it gotten to the point that I had put them on the list of want to. It's never going to happen. Unless my dumbass goes ahead and does the right thing, gets a passport, saves up his money, and goes to hit a European festival, because that's pretty much the only time Emperor plays at this point. No offense to Izan, because I love his solo work and how progressive, eclectic the whole damn thing is, which can be traced back to the last two full-length Emperor albums, Nine Equilibrium and Prometheus Search of Fire. So to my shock, Emperor announced another U.S. tour, and here they are in St. Louis. So, not that I'm located directly in St. Louis, still, I just looked and went, oh, no fucking way am I actually going to see this band after all these years. Never thought it was going to happen, but here they are. So Sunday I go. As a matter of fact, here's my damn t-shirt. The back of it has the dates. It's the tour poster. What I think is cool is they actually stuck the Blood Incantation logo on the back of the tour shirt as well. That's pretty damn respectful. Usually you get these larger joint tours, and whoever the main bands are, they usually don't list the opening acts or who the supports are. So to get home and double check and see that, I was like, okay, mad respect to everyone. And I actually felt bad because I didn't walk out with any more Blood Incantation merch. I'd just seen them in October and November when the Absolute Elsewhere tour rolled through at Del Mar Hall, and as they said, here we are at the pageant right next door a few months later, and I was so happy to see them again too. They played the entire Absolute Elsewhere album again, and they threw in Vitrification of the Blood Part 1 from Starspawn. I am so fortunate to hear something from Starspawn. They don't really play that album anymore, and I sure as hell wasn't part of the live audience that saw them 10 years ago, the last time they had played anything off that album and been in St. Louis. But I have to say, looking at the two main tracks from Absolute Elsewhere this time around, 6 months removed. I still enjoyed it. It was still a great set. I would say that I wish they had kept some of the dramatic pauses to build tension and things like that, and atmosphere. The lights go down as the pause, and then off of it to set you off to the next point. But they were the opening act, and it is what it is. If anything, it made it more like the album, which isn't so bad. I noticed that the Stargate and the Message overall, even without the little pauses and breaks, they've been playing it so much, so often, that the song and the transitions are much quicker and tighter than they had been the last time they popped in. It's akin to Hallowed Be Thy Name from Iron Maiden. You compare what it was in 82 versus 92, 93 when Bruce left. You get used to playing the song, singing the lyrics. And as Bruce once said in that one interview, every night it just creeps up a little bit more. Now, in this case, I don't think it was that the song totally creeped up. Maybe they just dropping some of the little pauses and gaps. It went a little bit quicker. On the other hand, again, familiarity with the material, you play it every damn night. You hit those transition pieces a lot quicker. You hit some of those chords and those progressions much more rhythmically. So, and in a shorter time frame. I'm not saying it was a bad thing. I actually thought it was pretty damn cool that the 26-minute song didn't go all 26 minutes. And they still kept it top shape. So, again, amazing set from Blood Incantation. And I know I made that point about Hallowed Be Thy Name, 92, 93. We all know what Bruce was doing on that damn tour. What? What did he say? No. Everything was kept in proper time. There wasn't a, quickening of the vocal delivery. So, nothing to worry about on that front. Emperor comes out not too much later. And they did add Jürgen Munkeby from Shining. He's largely a jazz musician, actually, but he's the main man from Shining. He's on keys. Hell of a musician, heavy metal singer, songwriter. He came in as both for the keys and for, well, let's be real, that higher register vocal support, because there are some longer screams on a lot of these Emperor albums that to sustain those notes for a long period of time, it gets problematic. So he came in as your secondary, your harmony backing vocals where needed. And when Izan had those moments where he had to really push the register for a long time and hold it, he comes in as the padded support. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, they picked somebody who could match the vocal patterns and the overall tone of the man himself. And Izan's been doing this a long ass time. So I wouldn't expect him to pick somebody who couldn't keep up or who couldn't match. I didn't mind. I thought for the sake of integrity, it was great. And it's not like they're using fucking backing tapes. So everyone complains about this. Oh, he had a second vocalist come sing him. You try singing songs from when you were 14 to 20. After what has it been 25 years since Prometheus? Yeah, no, your voice changes, and you know what? 98% of the time Izan totally nailed it like it was the album versions. It blew me away. It blew everyone away. Watching him go up there and sing, and then change up and go to his more natural melodic harmonic vocals instead of the higher screeches. This was their first Missouri show ever, let alone first St. Louis show. And I'm telling you, the atmosphere, the audience, whether they were younger than me or 10 to 20 years older than me, between the audience, the electricity in the room, the atmosphere, Emperor just blew everyone away. This backing vocalist or not. Who cares? They dominated. 5 tracks came off of Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk, and 4 came off of In the Night Side Eclipse. I'm not going to tell you which one. I mean, come on. Let's be real. I Am the Black Wizard was in there. They touched on every main release. Even the title track from the original demo, Wrath of the Titans, which, much like Celtic Tales, Morbid Tales was expanded later on to a full length. But still, you pretty much got everything you'd want to hear from Emperor. And I wish the set would be longer, but you still get 13 tracks. And damn, Izan is just pushing himself up there. I looked at this and thought, holy shit, not only have I seen this band for the first time when they're on my list of It's Not Gonna Happen, but this might be the only time, because I don't know how long he's going to stand going up there, putting himself out of breath and shredding his vocal cords, doing this. That's probably why these tours only, now that they're doing them again, only happen once in a blue moon, and they're extremely short. The festival appearances notwithstanding, of course. That is what it is. That's the only way I thought I was going to actually see this band at this point. Yet that had to be one of the better sets I think I've ever seen. And I've been to at least 100 fucking shows in my time. I hope there's another one. I even liked the curtain on the back. It's the Emperor, the E emblem, and they stuck 2 wolves on either side with axes, and I thought, what? Why isn't that on a poster? Why isn't that on a t-shirt or a hoodie? That's even cooler than what the hell this is. And, if I had one complaint, it would be that this t-shirt, which is some heavyweight cotton and feels really good, you don't sweat in it, it's comfortable. I wish the t-shirt wasn't $55 and this leftover patch wasn't another 15. However, we're talking about a Norwegian artist, Norwegian group, that doesn't do a lot of touring. It's, again, once in a blue moon. Maybe by the fact that Izan left off saying we might see you soon, holy shit, I might see them again. Hopefully they play more of the prog stuff. I would actually like to hear more of Prometheus and 9 Equilibrium. I know. That's weird. Why the hell would I want more of those? But you guys who have been following me, those who actually know me in person, know how much I love prog. I love fusion, prog metal, prog rock. So I am down with his solo career and shifting time signatures, stylistic variations in music and in vocal delivery or in, stylistic singing. It's it's all part of the performance. It's part of the package. So yeah, I hope I get to see this again. Go see this if you can, because again, I think it's mostly up to Izan and Samat at this point if they even do anything. And if you never got the chance before, if it's rolling around you, go. Because again, who knows? Bring your wallet though. Christ. Really bring your wallet. I couldn't believe when they told me. But that's my only gripe. Immaculate show. I hope that when I see Behemoth the second time, and then again they've got Rod and Christ and Deicide, both of which I've never seen. I think there's a fourth man on there. I can't think off the top of my head who it is. I hope it's as good. And that's 425. 424, I think, is Pussifer, right around the corner from me. So I hope at least Behemoth lives up to what the hell I just saw, because Behemoth was amazing a couple of years ago when I saw them right the night before I hopped on a plane to go home for my cousin's wedding. This was even better than Behemoth. And we'll see. I can scratch this off my list of it's never going to happen. I wish it could. And you know what? I'm not even, the more I talk about it, I'm not even mad how much I spent on these 2 items. Completely worth it for the entire package of just Emperor and Blood Incantation. He's bludgeoning me with the new album again and making it even more of a perfectory transitional piece than it already was. So I'm going to sign off on this video. I'll be right back with another one. Take care.